Welcome to S.O.S. at the table. We are S.O.S. My special guest, CEO Dwaine Radden, Provisional Accelerated Learning Academy, S.O.S. My name is Keith Burkes, S.O.S. coordinator and life skills facilitator. Before we get started, let's talk about something that you made a very public announcement in a very public way by talking about what's happening in this country. Color Up.
Wow, Color Up came to me, and people really don't know. I've been asked that many times, but I woke up one day and God had put on my heart to write, right? And I went downstairs and I just started writing, and everything came out. And as I wrote, it wasn't me writing. It was like the Spirit writing.
Right.
And so my son woke up and I said, "Hey, read this." And he read it. He said, "Dad, we got to get this recorded." And my son, the other son, he has a video studio. We went over and we recorded it in the same day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, same day. So I don't take credit for the S.O.S. video. It's God's video.
Absolutely. You know, when you talk about, you said something on there that from your house to the courthouse to the jailhouse. Talk to us about that.
Well, what I teach and I tell, and as you know, in S.O.S., we talk to the kids, because all of our kids are in a system that's designed for us to fail, for them to fail, sorry. And so from the schoolhouse is where they start, you know, the courthouse to the jailhouse, so they don't show up at your house. And we need them to show up at their house, whether they're a doctor making a house call, a plumber, an HVAC, whatever it is. So when I say that, and what S.O.S. is stemmed from, is teaching these young men how to get around the system, how to work around it, how not to fall into the traps, right? So by learning and understanding, I'm gonna go from the schoolhouse, I don't wanna wind up in the courthouse, so I don't wind up in the jailhouse, and I'll make sure I'm at your house.
You know, that's a beautiful statement. When you talk about the very genesis of that, here's your knowledge. Four sons.
Wow, man, I was blessed with 5 kids, 4 sons, 1 girl. You know, one's a doctor. My youngest is a doctor, podiatric doctor. All of my sons have graduated with master's degrees, and they're teaching in their fields of choice. And you know, growing up, it was tough. I mean, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm not home as much, and so I give all that credit to my wife, who's no longer here. She was there every day, making sure they get to practice and making sure they get what they need, whether it was clothes or whatever it was. I was just that dad that facilitated the means and tighten them up when they need to get tightened up.
Right.
But you know, I always say nothing in equals nothing out. And the one promise I made to my wife is that I'm always pour into mine. Yeah, I'm gonna pour into mine, right? And I encourage every man in the world to pour into yours, right? Because you don't know what's gonna come out of yours.
You know, when you're talking about 4 sons and a daughter and the love of a wife, right, that inspired you, you are about love. And that love has a discipline to it. And that discipline actually is going out not just to this school, but to this community.
Sure.
The 3 Ds, talk about what is that?
People always ask me that question. So again, 3 of my boys were involved in sports and different things. And all of them were, but the 3 took it different. They all had different ways about them. One was more disciplined than the other. One tended to be more dedicated, and then the one that didn't have as much, he became determined, right? So as I look for a mantra, I look for something, right, as I'm growing up, and the kids are growing up, and I'm saying, hey, discipline, dedication, determination equals winning. that has been a code of mine for life. I mean, it's not just a code for the school.
Right.
It's a life code.
Right.
When we lack discipline,
Right.
we can't win. I don't care what we're doing. Yeah.
When you put it in that perspective, some of our young people, if not some of our communities, if not the country in itself, the discipline for humanity to take care of to which is yours. You've taken that to heart.
Literally.
Yes, you have. And in that, there's some fruitations all around. It's just not the school. Talk to us about being a CEO of an educational institution.
Wow. It's challenging, right? But it's rewarding.
Right.
Because you see lives change right in front of you.
Right.
You see young men become young men,
Right.
right? So you see young ladies become ladies, women, you know.
Right.
And so being a part of that, you know, being able to give them that direction and give them all the things they need to be better, right? So I love it. I come to work every day. Work doesn't stress me, right? I love seeing kids prosper. I love seeing staff and everyone prosper because, as you said, we all come from love. Some of us lose that somewhere along the way.
Somewhere
along the way, yeah.
You know, when you talk about love, and somewhere along the way, they lose it. We're in a position to not only change minds, but to change lives.
Absolutely.
And speak to that.
Well, you know, God has blessed me just to be able to do that, to change lives. You know, I use everything I do is by a number expression, a numerical expression, P4.
P4.
P4. So one must first find their purpose in life. Sometimes we don't know.
Right.
You pray for that purpose.
Right.
And that purpose manifests into passion.
Wow.
Right? And then that passion turns into paper, not the one you write on, but the one you put in your pockets. And then from that, you have power.
Wow.
The power to change lives.
Yes.
Yeah. Whether you have the power to hire, you have the power to bring teachers in and teach them how to get credentials, things of that matter. That's where it comes from, being able to think of P4, right? That's what it does for me, and I'm grateful every day that God has given me and put me in that position to be able to extend a hand to someone.
You know, to God be the glory. Passion. Passion.
Yeah.
Here, yeah, I mean, you can feel it coming off you.
Yeah, I got. Well, it's real.
Right?
Yeah, it's real.
You can feel it. And as a result of that, student, teacher, faculty, staff have that connection. Now, when I sense the humbleness when you said God first.
God first. Always.
Right? God first.
Always in my life.
Right?
Always.
And because of that, now you're able to intrusively put it in others' lives and use it as a tool so they can now use it.
100%. 100%.
In S.O.S, the very vision of it, saving our sons, S.O.S, boys to men. Talk to us.
Well, you know, as we looked on, we look on the news, and we look around the community, our blacks and browns they're either 6 feet under or 6 feet in. And if that happens, we can't multiply.
Wow.
Right? So we must take that on as mentors.
Absolutely.
To make sure that they go down the right direction. And they're not 6 feet under or 6 feet in.
Right.
Because we ain't gonna be here forever.
Right.
You know, we need to deposit what we have been given into someone else.
Wow. You know, lineage, legacy. You got a legacy. You're building a legacy. How about this? Field of Dreams. Now we have a football field that, in the charter side of things, pretty remarkable to have your own football.
Incredible, yeah.
And to be blessed by namesake, to be honored by that football field being your name and carrying that name. Talk to us about what that means to you.
Journey of football for me has changed my life. My mom died when I was 12. And I became a menace because I was angry at God and everybody around him.
Right.
And one day my uncle Punell said, hey, you know, you got to do something better. And you want to go play that football. I said, I'm not putting on tights. I'm going out there and playing on football. He said, yeah, you are. He said, if not, I'm going to tighten you up every day. I said, what? I said, where do I sign up? Where do I sign up? Because you ain't going to be whooping me every day. So when I speak about football,
Right.
football is in me so deep because without it, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be sitting here at the table, right? I might be 6 feet under or 6 feet in. And football became for me a way of life. I was able to take the anger of losing my mom and my best friend and my aunts and my uncles, and I could hit somebody, and I could hit them or hurt them.
Right.
And my coach said, why are you doing that? You know, and I realized at some point, one time I remember I hit a quarterback so hard, he was on the ground, he was out. They had to come with some smelling sore. And at that one time, at that one moment, I said, I'm playing the game for the wrong reason.
Right.
I'm playing to hurt folks.
Right.
Right. And I realized this game could save my life.
Wow.
Right. And it changed me. So football is dear. And so when the board named the field after me, people wrote in that I've been around with football. And the board had to make a decision, right? And they said, hey, we want to name it after you.
Oh,
we know the work you've done in the community with the semi-pro football team, with Pop Warner, AAU, and we feel compelled to name that field after a man like you. And I said, at one moment, I almost teared up because that field of dream is deeper than anybody can imagine. 3 weeks before my wife passed, she walked that field.
Yes. Yes.
You'll see a picture in my office with her extending her hands like she's an angel.
Wow. Wow.
She walked every line, all around that field.
Wow.
So to have it named after me,
Yes.
it's powerful because she was my biggest cheerleader, right?
You know, that love and compassion, I feel it. I'm a part of it. And when you get a chance, what you have, and you and I have had this conversation, you've been blessed to get a celebration, not a eulogy. A eulogy.
Yeah.
Usually people pass, right? Then we start naming different things about them. We say some great things. You're in a life cycle that you're affecting from the love that you've given out, that you're getting back, that now is expanding through the love of your wife, that power, that grace that you're walking in. When you extend that to the community and now have a program like S.O.S. and the very genesis of it coming from the family, coming from the love, the extending now to seeing young men, right, boys to men, transition into something great. How does that make you feel?
Man, whew, that's deep how you worded it. Yeah, it makes me feel great because I know at some point in their lives, I may have helped them change, be better, take a different road, you know. And every day I wake up, I say thank you for the role that God has given me on this earth because we're here for a reason.
Absolutely.
Most of us don't understand their reason.
Yes.
But I was blessed for him to show me my reason, right? To get out here and help these young men and give them a better way, give them a chance to take a different direction, right? So I am grateful every day I wake up, right, to be able to come here and be a part of Powell Charter Academy, the community,
Yes.
and give back what God has given to me, right? A second chance.
Yes.
It's all about a second chance.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What we do with that second chance matters.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It
and
does.
so I'm thankful for being here.
Wow. Much is required
Yeah,
when you're given.
yeah, it's true.
Not everybody can step up, stand up, and step out.
He's quoting me.
Right?
Yeah, that's
These
true.
are things that our young people, right, who can't see themselves sitting in the chairs that you and I are. You said to me one time, and it was a while ago, to the streets, put streets to the seats.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
You know, one thing that our kids are in the streets,
Right.
And the goal for us is take them from the streets and put them in our seats, so they can get educated.
Right.
They can go to college.
Right.
They can get a career. Right. Out there on the streets, it ain't nothing out there for them.
Right.
Right. There's gangs and all kind of mischief that they get into, and next thing you know, their whole world has changed. So for me to take a kid from the street and be able to put them in a seat where they can get an education, get a high school diploma, right, get a job, right, get a career, and give them some direction.
Right.
You know, for me, I love it. I love it. I love that I'm able to do that. I'm blessed to do that. Every day I wake up, I'm looking for somebody I can redirect.
You know, family, school, and community. You run this organization like a family. Why?
Because that's all I know. We do what we know, right?
We do what we know.
We do what we know.
Right.
Right?
Right.
My family that I have is family. We bonded, you know, and that's one of the fibers that my wife made sure, no matter what, you know, we were going to do holidays and do things together. So for me, I understand the strength behind family.
Right.
So many of these young men and women, they don't have family.
Yes.
I was in a situation today, and a poor mother raising 2 kids,
Right.
and dad ain't around. So many of our kids are missing the key element
Right.
for them to survive. Our young men are missing dads. They're out of the home.
Yeah.
It goes back to the slave block syndrome,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You know, they get off the ship,
Yep.
the family go right, and dad go left,
Right.
never to be seen again.
Wow.
That's a perpetual effect to a young man,
Yeah.
right? So they need young men like us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you talk about the disconnect, right? The disconnect.
Yeah.
From a male presence, strong male presence in the household, if not the classroom, if not the community. S.O.S. in its genesis. What is your vision for S.O.S.?
For me is to take this. We started here as a pilot, you and I.
Yep.
Started as a pilot. We talked about it 2 years prior,
Yes.
you know, and it was just a dream,
Yes.
right? It was a mindset in our mind, and then now it's coming to fruition.
It is.
The goal for us is no city's too big for S.O.S. We need to hit every city.
Absolutely.
We need to fly around the country.
Absolutely.
And instill what we're giving to our students
Yes.
here at Powell,
Yes.
at Fontana, and you know what I'm saying, and the rest of San Bernardino.
Right.
Because one of the things I look at, and the reason why I'm so passionate about it, and I used to say this all the time, our kids have to live in the same world with those other kids.
Yes.
So if we don't help them,
Right.
how are we helping our own?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That same kid that shoots or a kid or does something wrong or break, that's the same kid that God put in front of you to change his life. That's what. So when he and when you don't do that,
Right.
and that same kid takes your son's life,
Right. Right. Talk to us.
Man.
Talk to us.
whose fault is that?
Wow. You know, if you think about arming, right, young people with an active mind, you won't have to worry about what they put in their hands as artillery.
Sure.
And when our young people have common sense, not everybody has common sense. We know that.
Yeah.
Sense is not all that common, right?
Yeah.
But give them a perspective give an example. When you change the imagery, you change the perspective.
Well, that was our concept with Suited and Booted.
Yes.
Right? So Suited and Booted, I woke up one morning and I said, let's do some suited. I don't know where my names come from or what I say half the time, but I told you about
Yes.
it. And I said, let's suit and booted. We made some phone calls to Abe and Valley College, and the next thing you know, we took our boys down there to get suited and booted. These young men, their whole mindset, even now, I look at them now, it's just that trip. Yes. To put on a fresh suit and some Stacy's, and we showed them how to tie a tie. It's changed their lives, man. We had kids crying. We had kids
Yes.
not understanding that, look, this is the imagery you need to portray so you can make it happen. And so with that, we took them down to Cal State. You know, you can just feel
Yes.
when I walked in that room, the swagger.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm here.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
look at me. You
Yes.
know,
Right.
that was their mindset.
Right.
You know, and it was looking good.
Yes.
And we walked over to campus like we owned it. You know what I mean? And so I appreciate you, you know, because you always suited and booted. You always stay suited and booted. So that concept of them looking at themselves in the mirror,
Right.
and seeing their reflection.
Right.
See, we have to reflect.
Oh, absolutely.
Every morning I reflect.
Absolutely.
Well, I look in the mirror and say, what can I do today that I didn't do yesterday? How do I make myself better than yesterday? So that's what we're teaching these young men.
Absolutely.
You don't need to look the same way you looked last year. Pull your pants up.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? You about to go into a college. You about to, you know, so to me, that's the way you reflect in that mirror tells it all. And I think this is something powerful for all of us, and especially nowadays with our young kids.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of suicide on the rise.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell every kid that hears this and sees this, never give up.
Never give up.
Always look up.
Well, if you think about self-imagery, the reflection, right? Based on what you see, based on what you feel, you can be. I'm here with our CEO, Mr. Radden. I can tell you this, we're looking forward to the next podcast where you're going to see Suited and Booted. This has been Mr. Radden, Keith Burkes, Powell Center, deuces.